Okay, your hands are folded. You're tracking me. You're there in 3, 2, 1, 0. Good afternoon, scholars.
Good afternoon, Missy.
So I'm so excited because we get to continue our chapter book, Stone Fox, our 3rd grade chapter book. Last lesson, we worked on motivation and we characterized Willie and we thought about what is Willie like as a person. As we're reading, we're learning more and more. So it's morning, hands are in your lap. We're learning more and more about our characters and we're continuing to characterize them. Last lesson, we did a great job characterizing Willie. Today, we're going to continue to work on those skills. Go ahead. Who can tell me, what does it mean to characterize? Strong, silent arm, fold and track, Arjanice.
What does it mean to characterize? It means.
Don't repeat the question. It means?
It means what is happening in the story.
So, Arjanice, if I'd asked you what does it mean to sequence the story or what is plot, those are the events in the story. Fold and track him. Let's try again, Arjanice. What does it mean to characterize?
What it means to characterize is to give a trait to a character.
Nice job. Laquana, that's your color. Go. Back to me. To characterize means to give a trait to a character. It means we're describing that character. We're saying what that character is like. What are some trait words that we had figured out for Willie from last lesson? Fold and track, Brianne. Reminder 1. Speaker. Please make a good choice.
Caring.
Yeah, we thought he was really caring. What other character traits did we have for Willie? Eric, fold and track.
We said
Dania. Morning, your hands are
responsible and clever.
Yeah, we said he was responsible. We said that he was clever. I'll take one more. Fold and track, Silas.
Smart.
Yeah, we said that he was really smart. That's another way of saying clever. Back to me. What does it mean, conflict? What does that mean? Fold and track, Dania.
Problem.
Full sentence, conflict means?
Conflict means the problem in the story.
Awesome job. Let's give it 2 claps. 2 more. Back in scholar. Conflict means the problem. I know that this story, since it's a chapter book and it's one of our harder stories, not only is there one problem, we've had multiple problems in our story. Who can remind me, what are some of the problems or conflicts in our story? Fold and track, Jensen, he's right here in the front row. Let me as a reminder too, next time it's a warning. I want you to focus.
Willie's grandfather, when he opened the box that he used, grandfather used to have money in the envelope that he didn't want to read.
Yeah, so when he opened the box, there was no money. The word we used for that yesterday was that Willie and his grandfather are broke. Hands are folded. Broke is just another way of saying they have no money. So that was one of our smaller problems that we learned in the last lesson. But I remember in the beginning of the book, there was a big problem. What was the big problem? Eleni, fold and track her.
The big problem that happened was that
Doc Smith said that grandfather had died. Not quite. Who can help Eleni out? Fold and track Kiara. No, not so many. Yeah, back to me. That grandfather is sick, and Eleni, you probably got confused because the phrase they used in the book was that he had given up on life. That means he didn't really want to live anymore. He wasn't doing those things that used to make him really happy. So he's not dead, he's still alive, but he has given up on life. We're going to dive deeper into these multiple problems in our characters today. But first, I want us to review some vocab we're going to learn in this lesson. The first word for today is irrigation. It is?
Irrigation.
It is?
Irrigation.
Irrigation is man-made ditches for watering crops on a farm. So when you have a farm, you have all those plants. You need irrigation. It's ditches made by man in order to water. Here's a picture of a farm with irrigation, all those rows for the crops to be watered. My sentence is, on my grandfather's farm, the fields are lined with irrigation ditches. When we hear irrigation, we can pretend that we're making those man-made ditches, and we can go. Show me irrigation. Back in scholar. Eric, let's try it again. Go, Jasleen, we're doing it with control. Irrigation. Back in scholar. Nice job. Our second word for the day is harness. Harness is just a leather strap that helps a horse pull a plow. So you connect the harness to the horse, and then the horse can pull a plow. Here's a picture of a horse with a harness on it. And my sentence is, the horses in Central Park are hitched to their carriages, and we've had the word hitched before, by a harness. Nice job, and I see many scholars are showing me that symbol for hitch. Show me hitched. Back in Scholar, we can use that same motion for harness because we know that when you hitch something, there's usually a harness. So show me harness. Back in Scholar, lean for 100%. Show me harness. Back in Scholar. Nice job. When I say go, you will turn and talk with your partner using a level 1 spy talk voice. Partner A, I want you to use the word irrigation, that man-made ditch. Partner B, I want you to use the word harness, how you connect a horse to a carriage. When I say go, remember it's that level 1 voice. Turn and talk now. Back to me in 3, 2, 1, 0. I can hear what Nana was saying from all the way over here. I can hear what Bintu was saying. Spy talk voice means only the person next to you can hear you. Jasmine, fold your hands, it's a warning. And whispering. Try it again. You're turning and talking with each other. Partner A, partner B. Harness, irrigation, harness. Instructions the first time. Pretend you don't need to use your hands. Just whisper. Hands right now. You're not now. It's okay. Whisper with your voice. And you're back to me in 5. It's on my hand. Sydney, give me your sentence. Fold and track, Sydney. Michaela, warning, track the speaker. Nice job. Back to me. Horses have a harness so they can be safe. I also like how Sydney gave me some context clues in her sentence so I know what she's talking about. She used horse, which is great because I know that horses often have a harness. And she used safe because it wouldn't be safe if you had a horse and a carriage and no harness. So she's using context clues, behind your back, that show me that she really knows what that vocab word means. Let's go with Mary. Give me your sentence. Fold and track Mary. Lisa, it's a warning. Hands are in your lap. Oh, when I was riding a horse, they had to harness it. Nice job. I want to hear a sentence for the word irrigation. Fold and track Josue. Nice job. I needed to use irrigation. Run away from your buddy room. When I planted my crops, yeah, those man-made water tunnels. Back to me. I know you're excited to share your words. We'll have more chances to use these vocab words throughout our lesson today. Who can remind me, what does plot mean? What is plot? Fold and track, Kiara.
Plot means what happened first, next.
Yeah, so plot is, those are the sequence words we're using here, but can you tell me what the definition of plot is? Fold and track her.
Plot means what happened.
Nice job, let's give her 2 claps. 2 more. Back in Scholar. So plot is what happens in the story. It's what?
Happens in the story.
Lisa, what is plot? Next time say it with the group, please. And we know that when we use plot, just like Kiara gave us, we use certain sequence words. Miss Team's already forgotten. What were those sequence words, Bittu? Fold and track her. Let's turn the other way.
First, next, then,
Yeah, back to me. We use first, we use.
First.
We use then, we use.
Then.
We use last, we use.
Last.
Those are the sequence words we use when we're talking about the plot. Go ahead, you have to move your name. That's your red. Okay, you're back to me. Walk this way so you're not interrupting our class. Okay. Nope, it's the bathroom, but we're not talking about this now. You know the rules. Okay, so we know that plot is what happens in the story. We know that when we talk about the plot, those events in the story, we use those sequence words first, then, next, last. We're going to practice using the plot by summarizing what's happened in chapter 2. Let's think back to chapter 2. What happened in the very beginning? Oh, hands are folded. What happened in the very beginning of that chapter? Fold and track Ahmad. He's over here.
Little Willie was having a great time
Okay, so he was having in the very beginning of the book, he was talking about those great times he had with his grandfather. But what happened at the beginning of the chapter? Fold and track Tanina. Of chapter 2.
Chapter 2, Doc Smith said
Brianne.
that
grandfather's really sick, I think you're thinking back to chapter 1, Tania, because that's when Willie ran to Doc Smith and said, Doc Smith, I need your help. Nana, warning, eyes on me. I need your help because grandfather's feeling really sick. But I remember at the beginning of chapter 2, first, using my sequence word, Willie had to take care of the farm because grandfather was very sick. So in chapter 1, we learned he was sick, but at the beginning of chapter 2, Willie had to start taking care of the farm. What happened after Willie started taking care of the farm? It was something really important that happened when we were reading yesterday. Flood and track, Sana.
That Willie had to run to Doc Smith and told him my grandfather is sick.
Okay, so now we already have that Willie had to take care of the farm because grandfather's ill. So we already know that grandfather's sick. Willie's back at the farm. This is what we read yesterday. I know that grandfather and Willie figured out something important. What happened? Fold and track, Eric.
When he went to there was no money in the box, and then he knew that grandfather was sick because they didn't have no money.
Okay, so yeah, they realized that they were broke. That's one thing that happened. But what else happened? I'm looking for a strong silent arm between grandfather and Willie. We want to add the really important events, and that is an important event, Eric, and we'll get to that, but we want to make sure we're sequencing in order. Mary, what happened before he found out that they were broke? Awesome job, back to me. Willie and grandfather figured out how to communicate to each other. And that was really important because now Willie can ask grandfather some questions and grandfather can answer. Who can remember what was the symbol for yes, Brianne?
It's grandfather's up.
Oh, just Brianne. Yeah, grandfather put his palm up. What about no? What was the symbol for no, Josue?
Palm down.
Yeah, then he put his palm down. Okay, as we're reading, we're going to continue to think about what happens in the story. We're going to continue to sequence the events in chapter 2. We already have what happened first. It's a warning, hands are in your lap. Run away from your color. We already have what happened next. Then we want to think about what happened then and then last. We also went over conflict, which is the problem in the story. We know that one problem is that grandfather's sick. A second problem is that they are broke. That means they have no money. Why is it important that Willie has money? Why is this even a problem? Hold and track, Okalani. This is a problem because? Yeah, maybe they won't have money to buy food. Why else is it a problem? Hold and track, Mary.
Because in the beginning, it said that the tax collected for the people, and they don't have money. Maybe the tax collector will do something.
Back to me, yeah, they may not have money to pay taxes or to take care of the farm. I also remember reading that they needed a horse to plow the field, and now they might not have money to buy a horse to rent a horse to plow the field. Arjanice, why do they need a horse to plow the field? Why is that important?
That's it.
Okalani, head up.
They didn't have a horse to put up the field, they won't get to travel to places.
Maybe they won't get to travel to places, but think about what happens on a farm. Why do they need to plow the field? Fold and track, Jansen. Eric, the other way. Dania, straight. What's your buddy room? Okay, so you're closing out the flowers, but then back to me, my turn. Some of the crops, that's just another word for walk with urgency. That's just another word for some of the food that they're growing on the farm won't be able to grow. So it's a problem that grandfather's sick. It's a problem that they have no money. And it's a problem that they can't plow the field because they need to make sure that their crops can grow. Okay, who has a prediction for how our problem might become solved? That's called our resolution. Let's do a prediction. Hold and track, Eric. Tania, you're going to a buddy room. Laneza, you're getting started right away.
They're gonna have a dog race, and they might
Eyes on Eric.
rent a horse. I know because
Tania, leave it. You're going to a buddy room. You're there in 5. I'm watching you walk. 4. Laneza, you're getting started. Track, Eric.
I know because when we started Stone Fox,
Pause. I'm asking you to begin your reflection right away.
when we went to the back page, it said something about the dog race on the back.
Tania, it's a warning. You need to be at the door now. Searchlight.
Searchlight to the dog race, and if there's like win the dog race, they could get money for the
Okay, that's awesome. Have you read this book before, Eric? No? Okay, back to me. So yeah, maybe they're gonna have a dog race. Maybe they're gonna find some way to win money. That would fix their problem of being broke. Let's read to find out if some of Eric's predictions come true or if the prediction you had in your brain becomes true. Laser reminder number 1, I'm listening for you to be silent. Okay, so we left off yesterday right where Willie had said, no wonder grandfather's sick, he has no money. Let's go ahead and continue reading. Little Willie had to think of something, and quick. It was now the middle of September. The potatoes that they had planted early in June took from 90 to 190 days to mature. Mature just means that they're now big. That means that they would have to be harvested soon. Besides, the longer he waited, the more danger there would be for an early freeze that would destroy or ruin the crop. And little Willie was sure that if the crop died, grandfather would die too. A friend of grandfather's offered to help, hands are in your lap, but little Willie said, no, don't accept help unless you can pay for it. Grandfather had always said, especially from friends. And then little Willie remembered something, his college money. He had enough to rent a horse, to pay for help, for everything. He told grandfather about his plan, but grandfather signaled no. Little Willie pleaded with him, but grandfather just repeated, probably with his hand, no, no, no. The situation appeared hopeless. That means there's no solution. But little Willie was determined. He would dig up the potatoes by hand if he had to. And then Searchlight solved the problem. She walked over and stood in front of the plow. In her mouth was the harness, a harness, back in Scholar, she wore during the winter when she pulled the snow sled. Little Willie shook his head. Digging up a field is not the same as riding over snow, he told her. But Searchlight just stood there and would not move. You don't have the strength, girl. Willie tried to talk her out of it, but Searchlight had made up her mind. So one of your hands are folded. The potato plants grew about 2 feet high, but there were no potatoes on it. The potatoes are all underground. The plow digs up the plants and churns the potatoes to the surface where they can be picked up into sacks. It took little Willie and Searchlight over 10 days to complete the harvest. But they made it. Either the dirt was softer than little Willie had thought, or Searchlight was stronger because she actually seemed to enjoy herself. Okay, I want to pause here. Think about the prediction you had in your brain about how they would solve this plowing problem. Silently show me, were you right or wrong? We're going to check row 3. Good. Row 2. Yep. Row 1. Nice. Back in Scholar. So some of us, this is what we predicted in our brain. Some of us, it's not. What was the resolution? What was the solution to that conflict or problem of not being able to plow the field? Hold and track, Mohamedou.
They used their hands.
The resolution was?
The resolution was they used their hands to dig up the potato field, and it was 2 feet.
Oh wait, so little Willie did say even if he had to, Sydney warning, hands are folded, he would use his hands, but that's not what they ended up doing. Who helped him plow the field? Hold and track, Michaela.
Well, to plow the field was Searchlight.
Yeah, exactly. Searchlight helped him plow the field. They connected the harness that they used when they plow the snow, and Searchlight was able to plow the field. Nice job. Okay, let's keep reading to see if there's any more conflicts and how we can solve some of our other problems. And the harvest was a big one. Close to 200 bushels per acre. Bushel is just how you measure the amount of food. And each bushel weighed around 60 pounds. Little Willie inspected the potatoes. He threw out the bad ones and he put the rest of them into stacks. He then put the sacks into the underground shed. Mr. Leeks, a tall man with a thin face, riding a horse that was also tall and had a thin face, came out to the farm and bought the potatoes. Last year, grandfather had sold the crop to Mr. Leeks, so that's what little Willie did this year. We made it, grandfather, little Willie said as tears of happiness rolled down his cheeks. See? Little Willie held up 2 fistfuls of money. See, you can stop worrying. You can get better now. We have money. Grandfather put his hand, eyes on me, down on the bed. Palm down meant no. It was not the crop he'd been worried about. It was something else. Little Willie had been all wrong. When I say go silently show me, have all the conflicts been resolved? Silently show me. Row check row 3, no. Row 2, yep. Row 1, yep. Back in Scholars, see this, it's a warning. You need to have your symbol up with the rest of the group. It's another warning, you're not disagreeing. Okay, so yeah, we know that all the conflicts haven't been resolved. When I say go in a level 1 voice, turn and talk with your partner and tell them what conflict hasn't been resolved. Turn and talk now.
Grandfather is still sick. He was sad and was
And you're back to me in 5, it's on my hand. What conflict hasn't been resolved, Bintu? Hold and track her.
It's still about the money.
Okay, so they had, let's have her try again, because it wasn't about the money. They said they had money now. What else?
But that wasn't the crops he had were
Lonnie, it's a warning.
what grandfather was worrying about.
So what was he worrying about if it wasn't the crops? Hold and track her.
It was the I need help.
You need help? Let's phone a friend. Let's go ahead and have a mod. Hold and track him.
We think he was worrying
Jasmine,
about.
warning.
I think he was worrying about not having the horse.
Okay, back to me. So maybe it's that they don't have a horse, so maybe this crop will be okay, but other ones won't. Maybe it's not enough money, or maybe there's going to be some other problems on the farm. Let's go ahead and finish up our plot summary of chapter 2. So we know that first, Willie had to take care of the farm because grandfather is sick. We know that next, Willie and grandfather figure out a way to communicate. What happens then in the story? Hold and track Muhammad.
What happened is that when they finally then the crops and going out and sell the money, okay, they really had 2 hands full of money, and he said, "Grandfather, we have enough money now. Now you're not sick." Put it all down and said,
So I like how you're using those sequence words. Go ahead and sit down. You're using that first, then, next, and last. I like how you're using those. So yeah, then Willie realizes that they're broke, and Searchlight is the one that harvests the potatoes. What happens at the very end of the story? What happened that I just read? Hold and track Sanaa. Remember to use our sequence word last.
"Last,
To me, it's a warning.
Searchlight found a solution.
I'm asking you to track the speaker. You can keep that on your own.
Last Searchlight did the solution to the story. The solution was that she found a carriage.
Okay, so we do have that Searchlight harvest the potatoes. But what happens at the very end of our story? We had another conflict all of a sudden. Kiara, hold and track her.
That Willie brought a full and then the grandmother put 7
The grandfather said what? And you speak in a level 3 voice. Michaela, warning, hers behind your back.
Then the grandfather
It's your
said
color,
no.
Yeah, the grandfather said no. What did he say?
So he said no because he was not sad about he was not sick about it.
Yeah, that there's another problem. So we know that last we ended our chapter on a cliffhanger. That means we want to know what's happening next. There's still another problem. Let's work on our characterizing. I know last lesson we spent a lot of time characterizing Willie. Now I'm going to characterize grandfather. Who can give me a character trait and evidence from the book to characterize grandfather? Hold and track, Joseph.
He is very sick because they keep him.
Okay, so you're telling me what he's like. When you're telling me a state that he's in, he's sick. But I'm asking you for a character trait. A character trait is how a character is all the time. And grandfather's not always going to be sick. So fold and track Joseph while he tries with another character trait.
Maybe he is hopeless.
Hopeless? Okay, what makes you think that he is hopeless? Fold and track Joseph. I know because.
I know because when he's away down at
Wanting
and
to
he
point.
doesn't want to talk or when
Wanting to
he
talk.
did the signals when he said that he think he made the problem stop. He said no, that was not why he was sad about.
Now he's shot back to me, so I like how Joseph said what the character said and did to characterize him. He said, I think grandfather's hopeless, and I know because he doesn't want to get out of bed. And when Willie says I solved the problem, grandfather says, no, that's not the only problem. Nice job. So we know when we're characterizing, we're doing character traits. We're saying how the character is on the inside. It's their personality. It's how they are all the time. This is different than feelings or emotions, which is how a character feels sometimes. For example, as on me, sometimes Miss Seam gets really angry or mad. But that's a feeling because I'm not angry or mad all the time. I'm not angry or mad right now. But I might be angry or mad later, and I was angry or mad yesterday. But it's not how I am all the time. That's a feeling, that's a
Feeling.
Whereas a character trait is how the character is on the inside. For example, Miss Seam is clumsy. Sometimes I drop things, and that's just always how I'm gonna be. When I was, you don't think I'm clumsy? Well, I think I'm clumsy. Hold your hands. When I was little, I used to drop things. I drop things now. I'm probably gonna drop things when I'm older. That's just how Miss Seam is. She's always been clumsy. So that's the difference between a character trait and an emotion. Trait is all the time, it's not changing. Whereas an emotion changes. You can be happy, you can be sad, then you can be upset, then you can be joyful. Feelings change. Fold and track me, my turn. One way that good readers characterize is they look at the current state of their character, Brandy. They think about how the character is right now. They think how the character is right now. They think how the character is right now. I'm looking for 100%. How do they look, Laneza? Next time, say it with a group, please. Fold and track me. So I know that grandfather is different now than he was at the beginning of the book. When I say go, you're going to turn to talk with your partner, and you're going to give evidence for how grandfather is acting right now. I'm listening for that level 1 spy top voice. Go. It's a warning. You're here. And you're back to me in 5. It's on my hands. Who can give me some evidence for how grandfather is acting right now? Fold and track Alejandro. I'm looking for crisscross applesauce.
He's acting kind of nervous if he goes outside in the cold, sick, because he might get more sick.
Okay, so you said he's acting nervous. Can you give me some evidence for what you read in the book or what you heard in the book that shows you he's maybe acting nervous?
He's maybe acting nervous because he doesn't want no one to see him get out of bed.
Okay, so we know that he's not getting out of bed. That's some evidence for how grandfather's acting right now. That's a good piece of evidence. He won't get out of bed. What else is grandfather doing right now, Mohamedou?
Grandfather, he don't talk.
Yeah, one thing he's doing right now is he's not talking. So we know he's not talking. He's not getting out of bed. These are things he's doing right now. Who can use this evidence to characterize or describe grandfather? Fold and track Arjanice.
How can this grandfather is like a sad person?
Okay, so you're going to be a feeling because sad is something that can change Arjanice. I'm asking you for a trait word. That's how the character is all the time. Fold and track him. You're picking level 1. I want to hear level 3.
He's most of this time is unhappy.
Okay, again, you're giving me a feeling word. I want to hear a trait. Back to me, Arjanice. Fold and track him on.
He's positive.
He's positive? Okay, does that is a trait word, but is that connected to the evidence? If he's not talking and he's not getting out of bed, do you think he's a positive person? So we want to make sure that our evidence and our traits align well. Fold and track Kiara. Or Janice, track the speaker. Warning. Oh, you think he's worried? Okay, again, that's a feeling. I'm asking us to characterize him. That's saying what he's like as a person. Michaela, fold and track.
What grandfather is the most of the time in the book is that he's hopeless because he is not moving
That's a warning.
and he won't can't come out of bed.
Okay, so yeah, we can characterize him as a hopeless character. That's how he is most of the time, and I like how Michaela gave evidence. I know he's hopeless, my turn, hands are folded. I know he's hopeless because he's not getting out of bed and he's not talking. I also want to talk about grandfather's relationship with Willie. That's how characters see each other. How has grandfather's relationship with Willie changed? Hands are folded. Think about how it was at the beginning of the book. Think about how it is now. How has his relationship with Willie changed? Fold and track Mary. She's going to help us out. Been to warning, track the speaker. Can you hear level 3? Oh, I'm asking how his relationship with Willie changed. Bring it here, Lonnie. Okay, so back to me. In the beginning, they used to have turkey dinners, they used to play all of these games. And now, they're not doing any of those things anymore. So, Mary, can you take that one step further? You've given me some great evidence. So how has it changed? They've gone from being blank to blank. Fold and track her. Okay, back to me. So yeah, their relationship has gone from being a really playful relationship where they're playing games and they're eating together to maybe a negative relationship where now Willie doesn't really like to hang out with grandfather anymore, and grandfather won't even get out of bed to have dinner with him or to play the harmonica anymore. Tomorrow we're going to get to start chapter 3 of our book, and we're going to get to see even more how the relationship between Willie and grandfather changes. We're going to get to find out more about our problems, our conflicts, my turn, and their resolutions, and see if some more of our resolutions can become solved. We did a great job today thinking about the differences between character traits and character emotions, and sequencing the events in our story. You're going to have a chance to practice these skills more at your desk. I'm looking for the row that can get started at their desk right away, pencils down, working the whole time. You're standing in hall in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You are in hall. With urgency. Go, Jasmine. Let's see which row, this way warning, hands are glued, can get there first. Joseph got started right away. He's showing me he wants to write some long response answers. He's giving himself time. Good readers and writers get started right away. Ms. Alejandro, tuck in your chair. good workers get started right away. Yeah, we're gonna go in 10 minutes to hold it. And 2, we're working the whole time. Okay, as I'm looking for your pencil to be moving. We're not reading. I'm looking for you to be working. Warning, that's not what you have out right now. Put it away for me. Didn't you tuck in your chair? There. Nana, it's a warning. Your eyes are on your own work. Move it over and eyes are down. That's your collar down. I have about another 3 minutes to work and then we're going to share out. I'm looking for scholars who are using good evidence and are writing 5 sentences for the first response and 3 sentences for the second. That's okay. You're working on the whole time. Eric, Mr. B. You have about 2 minutes left. Oh, Eric's using some good evidence. He's writing the complete number of sentences. He might want a pencil if he's called on. Okay, about 1 minute left. Finish up the sentence that you're working on. Okay, turn back to number 1. Hands are folded. You're there in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 on my hand. Brianne, that's a warning. When I get to 0 your pencils down, you are turned back to number 1. Okay, parallel lines are up in 3, 2, 1, 0. Nana, warning, elbows on the desk. Okay, which sentence uses irrigation correctly? 2 cups for A, 2 cups for B, 2 cups for C, 2 cups for D. Okay, the correct answer is A. Farmer Elijah uses an irrigation system to water his wheat and corn. We know that's correct because we can use the context clues in that sentence, irrigation system, and it's used for the crops like corn and wheat, to know that that's the correct answer. Number 2, hands are up in 3, 2, 1, 0. What does harness mean? 2 cups for A, 2 cups for B, 2 cups for C, 2 cups for D. Lineza, it's a warning, your hands are still up. You need to clap for the letter U. Your hands should be down. Okay, the correct answer for number 2 is B. Miss Poochie put the harness on her horse and led it out of the barn. We can also use the context clues in that sentence, like horse, and the fact that the Miss Poochie is leading the horse. We know we lead the horse with a harness, and then a harness goes on a horse. Number 3, what does conflict mean? Hands are up, parallel lines, 3, 2, 1, 0. 2 cups for A, 2 cups for B, 2 cups for C, 2 cups for D. Back in Scholar. The correct answer is D. It's the problem in the story. Who can tell me a sequence of important events that happened in the story? A. What's the word for that? It's not the conflict. What is it, Alejandro? Fold and track hymns?
It is a resolution.
Not the resolution. What's the sequence of important events? Fold and track into.
It's plot.
Yeah, that's the plot. What about B? How the problem is solved. What is B? Lineza, fold and track. Or Janice, morning track the speaker. One away from your colleague. Yeah, B is the conflict. What about words that describe, hands are down, how characters look, act, and feel? Ahmad, fold and track hymns. One away, sit down. This way, Lineza. C, words that describe how characters look, act, and feel. What's that called? Back to me, those are traits. Those are traits. Character traits are how characters look, act, and feel. So if we know number 1, A is the plot, we know B is the resolution, and C is trait words, then we know that conflict is D, the problem in the story. Number 4, what does resolution mean? Hands are up in 3, 2, 1, 0. 2 cups for A, 2 cups for B, 2 cups for C, 2 cups for D. We know that this resolution is B, it's how the problem is solved. Another word for resolution is the solution. Hands are folded, is the solution. Okay, turn the page, you're there in 3, 2, 1, 0. Jensen, warning, 0, your pencil needs to be down. Okay, let's see who has a good short response answer. Question 5 says, what conflict was resolved in the chapter and how was it resolved? So you're saying the conflict and you're saying the resolution. You're writing at least 5 sentences and you're using evidence from the text. Jensen, fold and track Jensen, he's in the back corner.
They got ready because
Arcades,
they broke.
warning.
And what piece of evidence is they sell the potato, and another piece of evidence is that they gave the crop. The third piece of evidence, they gave the potatoes to people. The fourth piece of evidence was they gave to
Okay, strap back to me. So I like how Jensen said the conflict, that grandfather's sick and he can't take care of the farm. Then he said how it was resolved and used all those evidence for how that conflict has been resolved. Let's give him 2 claps. 2 claps. There you go. Nice job. Okay, number 6. How has Lily's relationship with grandfather changed? I want you to write at least 3 sentences. What is it gonna be? Eric. Hold the track, Eric.
In the beginning, Lily,
Now I'm ready.
grandfather's
So, and then he gave evidence. They used to play harmonica, they used to do dinners together, and now they don't do that anymore. Bintu glue. Here you go. Nice job. Oh, okay, fold your hands back to me. Scholars, today we got to finish chapter 2. We worked on sequencing the events in those stories. We also worked on characterizing grandfather, making that distinction or finding that difference between character traits and character feelings. Who can remind me, which one stays the same almost all the time? Well, the check
Character traits.
Character traits, and which one changes, Jasleen? Character feelings. We also worked on talking about the relationship between grandfather and Willie and thinking about how that relationship has changed. We're going to continue to learn more about the relationship through the book, and we can see how it changes even more. I want you to go ahead and turn to writing. You're there in 3, 2, 1, 0. Bintu, warning at 0, your hands need to be folded. Dania, warning at 0, your hands are folded. That's your color go. Okay, you're standing in Paul. You're there in 5,